Hi friends, welcome to my YouTube channel SS Analysis. Today I'm going to present my analysis on natural gas futures in different time frames. First of all, I would like to mention here that here you can see my centimeters for mapping the moves of natural gas futures, which I designed on January 20th, 2019 to map the upcoming moves of the natural gas futures. Friends, you know that natural gas futures always remain under prevalence of sentiments. Each and every movement depends upon the sentiments of the masses. There is no such machine in the world to map the sentiments of the public about a commodity's move, but I tried my best to define where the majority of masses feel about the natural gas price movement, at what level a majority try to take position according to the levels of natural gas futures. So I divided sentiments in different time frames according to the levels. So when I presented my first study in this sentiment meter on January 20th, 2019, some of my old subscribers perhaps are very well acquainted with this sentiment meter. So here I would like to conduct one more study in the same sentiment meter. Here you can see some decisive zones. I call them sentiments of the masses. This is my bullish zone. When the natural gas futures trade inside this zone, natural gas futures come under pressure, and I call this zone as a bearish sentiment zone. As here you can see that I have defined this zone as bearish sentiment zone. This is my bullish sentiment zone. This is my decisive zone. This is my bullish consolidation zone. This is once again bearish sentiment zone when the bears assemble together above the level of $3.824 and start taking short positions amid this zone, which is from the levels of $3.546 to $4.125. Friends, this is zone when the natural gas futures enter inside this zone. Majority of the masses start selling profusely to natural gas futures. Once the natural gas futures sustain amid this zone, they enter this bullish sentiment zone where the natural gas futures becomes too aggressive to move upward. As here we can see a lot of bullish attempts by the natural gas bulls to enter in this breakout zone where the natural gas futures may try to sustain before a further breakout. Friends, here you can see that since February 8th we entered inside the bearish zone on February 7th, 2019, when we touched the bottom of this bearish zone, and till February 22nd, the natural gas futures were consolidating inside this bearish sentiment zone when most of the people become too bearish up to the level of $2.694 when I presented my some analysis during this period from February 19th to February 22nd. People didn't want to believe me that the natural gas futures may move upward out of this bearish zone and they will come upward inside the zone. But here you can see, friends, this is a daily chart where I have constructed this sentiment zone, and I find that this sentiment zone defines well the sentiments of the masses to move their positional trades according to the levels of the natural gas futures. So here you can see that my first resistance in a daily chart is at the level of $3.021 where the 200 days moving average exists currently, and I find once we see the natural gas futures to come above the level of $2.888, we will find the natural gas bulls to try their best to test this 200 days moving average before entering this bullish consolidation zone. So friends, this will be my first resistance level when the majority of the masses will move from this decisive zone to bullish consolidation zone. This will be the first resistance level, which is currently at the level of $3.165. Now let us check the movements of natural gas futures inside the same sentiment meter in different time frames. Let us see the movements of natural gas futures in a 4-hour time frame. Friends, here I find that currently the natural gas futures have already entered inside this bullish zone, which started from February 22nd with a gap up opening on February 24th. Since then, the natural gas futures have found a good support support at this level, and I will say that they are still maintaining this gap which they created on February 24th. And second important thing is that in the 4-hour chart, the natural gas futures have already come above the 200 days moving average, which makes them evident enough to move upward. But due to the current position of moving averages are creating some pressure on the natural gas futures prices, as here you can see that the 20 days moving average is still above the 20 days exponential moving average, and 50 days moving average is currently above the 50 days exponential moving average, which makes this position of moving averages to keep the natural gas futures under some pressure. But I find that natural gas futures have found good support at 200 days moving average at the current levels in a 4-hour chart, and I find the natural gas futures look ready to take a bounce from this level back up to the level of $2.888 before moving further. The natural gas futures will consolidate inside this zone in zigzag manners. During next two trading session, we will see the natural gas futures to consolidate amid this zone. No doubt that a bullish inventory will encourage the natural gas bulls to move above the level of $2.927. And one more thing which I like to mention here, that in a 4-hour chart, the natural gas futures have created a golden cross on March 3rd, 2019, when all these 4 moving averages have crossed the 200 days moving average, which makes it evident enough that the natural gas futures are likely to remain steady during the upcoming trading sessions. But for that, the natural gas futures will have to come above these moving averages, and I find that once the natural gas futures achieve the levels of $2.867 within next few hours, no doubt that the impact of this golden cross will be visible clearly in a 4-hour chart. So here you can see that the formation of a green candle above this 200 days moving average is like the formation of a shooting star in a 4-hour chart. Friends, currently I find that the natural gas futures have already entered inside the bullish sentiment zone, which will keep the natural gas futures in upward direction during the upcoming trading sessions. So I find that once the natural gas futures enter inside this zone within next few hours, which is from $2.857 to $2.925, I find that a consolidation amid this zone till the weekly closing may result in a breakout, when we will find the natural gas futures to enter inside this decisive zone, which starts from the level of $3.035 to $3.162. Now I would like to tell you that what I expect from the natural gas futures for the next upcoming trading sessions. So friends, this is a daily chart of natural gas futures where I have constructed some decisive trading zones which will define the directional moves of the natural gas futures, where they are going to remain during the next 2 trading sessions till the weekly closing. I find the natural gas futures will try to test the 200 days moving average up to weekly closing, which is currently at the level of $3.165. Now let us see that how the natural gas futures are behaving inside these zones in an hourly chart. So friends, this is the same chart which I have constructed in a daily time frame. So now I am trying to explain my analysis amid this decisive trading zones which will define the next directional moves of the natural gas futures. So friends, these are my 2 uptrend lines here, this one and this one. So I find this zone which I have defined in light yellow color, where the natural gas futures are likely to take their final direction before moving upward on March 13, 2019. My first resistance level will be here at the level of $2.779, where you can see the natural gas futures have tried their best to break this level but moved downward. But from the levels of $2.756, the natural gas futures found good support and we witnessed a sharp upward move in natural gas futures. But once again, the current position of these moving averages are creating a little selling pressure pressure in natural gas futures. Here you can see the natural gas futures have once again moved downward, and currently they are sustaining at the level of $2.760. But I find that during the next few hours we will find the natural gas futures to move on this uptrend line, and no doubt that on March 13th we will see the natural gas futures to take a final directional move to enter inside this bullish zone, where they will find their first resistance at the level of $2.822. No doubt that the natural gas futures may try to remain very volatile from this level to up to this level, up to the level of $2.823, because the bears will try to sell every rally. On the other hand, bulls will try to take every dip as a buying opportunity below this first resistance level. I find that we will find natural gas futures to find a thick presence of natural gas bulls below the level of $2.777. I find that there is a thick presence of natural gas bulls from the levels of $2.753 to $2.777 up to $2.780. I find there is a thick presence of buyers which will keep the natural gas futures in an uptrend above this uptrend line, and I find that a sustainable move till the announcement of impending inventory on Thursday. I find the natural gas futures will try to take an upward move after the inventory announcement above the level of $2.888, and no doubt that the bulls will try to test this second uptrend line on the announcement of natural gas inventory. So let us see the current movements of natural gas futures in the same chart in the 15-minute time frame. So in the 15-minute time frame you can see that how the natural gas futures found a good support at the level of $2.751, from where we witnessed a sharp upward move up to this first resistance level, which is currently at the level of $2.779, from where we witnessed a downward move. But now the current position defines something in favor of natural gas bulls, because the 20 days exponential moving average has come above the 20 days moving average in a 15-minute chart, which indicates that soon we are going to see a sharp upward move when we see the natural gas futures to break this immediate resistance and move towards the level of $2.802, where the 200 days moving average will provide some resistance to natural gas futures in a 15-minute chart. So friends, I would like to concentrate on the movement of natural gas futures in a 15-minute chart before taking any position. If I find that the natural gas futures are sustaining above the 200 days moving average for some time above the level of $2.812, I would like to go long from these levels, because a sustainable move above this level will confirm the continuity of an uptrend of natural gas futures. So friends, I find that soon we will see the natural gas futures to break this second resistance in a 15-minute chart, which is at the level of $2.854 on March 13th. So we will have to keep a visual eye over the movement of natural gas futures in a 15-minute chart, where I find that the current position of natural gas futures is evident enough for an eruptive move in a short while. So friends, be ready to see an action in natural gas futures very shortly. So I find that before the closing on March 12, 2019, I find the natural gas futures to break this second resistance level, and the natural gas will try to move above the level of $2.888. Friends, thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, don't forget to share this video with your more and more friends. Thank you.